welcome back to my art journaling. It's week 2, it's January and it's freezing cold out there today. So I'm going to be gessoing my pages to stop any ink sinking through too much and showing through on the other side basically. So I'll speed this bit up and we'll get started. Okay, the gesso's dry now, so I'm about to try something I haven't tried before, and that is to stick down one of these napkins. And I've seen this done before on some YouTube videos, so I thought why not have a go myself and see what happens. So, the idea is that when you stick this down, you separate the layers out, if they are any. Sometimes they are double layered, sometimes they're not. I don't think this has 2 layers actually. This makes life easier. No, it doesn't. So I can just go ahead and stick that down straight away. So I'll do that using some matte medium and speed it up for you. Okay, I've just dried that with a hairdryer. If you find that you've got a pocket of air underneath, because I was painting over the top of it with matte medium to seal it, because obviously I don't really want it to be as absorbent as a tissue is. So yeah, when you're coating it with matte medium or a gloss or a varnish or whatever, and you get a pocket of air, just tear a little hole and let the air out, because it doesn't matter if things are a bit rough around the edges. We don't want perfection here. It's art journaling, so it's all about trial and error or experimenting with things you wouldn't normally use. So I'm going to trim this down and then think of what I'm going to do next. Right, I think what I'm going to do next is just skim over the top of it lightly with a bit of gesso and using a palette knife somewhere. There we go. Just to weather the page a bit more, make it look a bit less pristine. Right, the lovely thing about dragging a palette knife over a textured surface is that the paint catches all those raised areas and it just makes it look even more textured, which is a really lovely effect. So I'm going to dry that, and then I think I might do a little bit of spraying of inks. Right, I think if I spray with inks it might be a bit too intense, especially if there are patches where the tissue is still absorbent. So I'm going to use some gelatos, which I got for Christmas from my lovely husband, and never used them before until, well, just recently. So this should be fun. So I'll use the gelatos and then spray with water to activate them. And what colours do I want? Look at that, there were 2 layers. I just couldn't find them. Anyway, hopefully they'll stick together, because the matte medium should have been soaked through enough, so let's hope so anyway. Okay, it's almost a shame to spray this because there are areas where it looks really nice just skimmed over the top. But anyway, the plan is to spray, so we'll stick with the plan. Okay, I'm sitting at my computer now because I want to do a quick drawing of a peony to put, I'll cut it out and put it in the picture. So I've got a fine tip pen here, 0.1, fine line, and it's waterproof, so I can colour over it and it won't bleed. And I'm just going to do the drawing just with one continuous line without lifting the pen off the paper, and it's quite a good exercise to do this. Try it out, because it does also give quite a nice effect. So if you're not happy with the first line you made, you just go over it again and again until you get it right. So I want the flower to be about that long. Okay, the distressed stain isn't quite contrasting enough. So what I'm going to do, or attempt to do, is to get my Versamarker pen. Hold on. And I'm going to draw around the edges and sprinkle on some black glittery embossing powder, and then heat it afterwards. So this could be a bit fiddly, so let's see how I get on. Ooh, very pretty. Right, I'm going to take this away and heat gun it. Okay, really pleased with that. That's very pretty. It is smudged a bit here, but I don't know if you can see the shimmer there. It's really pretty. So also it's done the trick 'cause it stands out more. So I'm going to stick that down somewhere here maybe. And so now I'm going to think about some wording to go in here somewhere. And I'll be back with something. Okay, just printed off a really nice gardener's quote, and it says, "Your mind is a garden, your thoughts are the seeds. You can grow flowers or you can grow weeds." I've also got this stamp which I thought I might just add a little bit lower down for interest, using the embossing powder again. So I'll crack on with that. Oh, it's really pretty. Right, I'm really happy with that. It's really pretty, and it glitters even more when you apply the heat gun and the embossing powder melts. So that's really lovely. So I'm going to stick the rose down, or the peony rather. It's not actually there it is. Stick that down with some matte medium. Okay, I'm almost there. I've dried this off a bit with the hairdryer, and I think all it needs now is a bit of a black border of some kind, just to pull it all together a bit. So I'm just going to play around with some markers and make a border. Okay, that finishes this week's project. I hope you've enjoyed it. I did a border around the edges with a pen, just did little sort of bubbles or seeds with a little white highlight in each one. And I really enjoyed that. The napkin thing worked really well. I'll just have to make sure that I try and separate those two layers next time. And hope you enjoyed watching, and I will see you again for week 3. Bye!